Welcome back. This is RT. Donald Trump's made dramatic U-turns in a variety of policies, catching many off guard, but not, it seems, his White House spokesperson. Sean Spicer claims the president's rapid flip-flopping is actually indicative of the stability of his position.
If you look at what's happened, it's those entities or individuals in some cases or issues evolving towards the president's position,
Now, in addition to last week's major U-turn on foreign interventions, Trump's also changed his mind about the role of NATO ties with Russia and China. And all of that came in the space of just 24 hours. With more on that, here's Caleb Maupin.
Sitting in his penthouse in Trump Tower, then presidential candidate Donald Trump must have looked down at the White House and said, "I'm going to change all of that." But now it looks like the White House has changed him.
NATO is obsolete. It covers the Soviet Union, which is no longer in existence.
The NATO alliance has been the bulwark of international peace and security.
Remember when he told Americans that China was raping their country? Well, apparently now he thinks it isn't.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country.
I don't want China dictating to me.
The relationship developed by President Xi and myself, I think, is outstanding.
He used to say that getting along with Russia was a good idea. Oh, how things have changed.
Wouldn't it be great if we actually got along with Russia? Am I wrong in saying that? Wouldn't it be great? Right now, we're not getting along with Russia at all. We may be at an all-time low in terms of relationship with Russia.
One of his biggest promises was to stop meddling in foreign affairs and put America first.
We've been moving from one reckless intervention to another.
We cannot be the policemen of the world.
Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria.
We decided to ask Americans what they think about Trump's apparent policy flip-flops. So what is Trump's position on NATO?
NATO? Well, he hasn't got a position on NATO, has he?
I mean, what does he think about it?
Yeah, well, he wants to get rid of it, surely.
Does he still think that, though?
I should think he does, yeah.
It's changed a lot, hasn't it? That's all I know.
What about Syrian President Bashar Assad?
I don't think he likes him too much. I know about the bombings.
I think he's coming out on a hard line against Assad now.
But he said the opposite before. He said he wants him to stay.
He did.
So what about Trump's position on China? What's his position?
On China, I think he was tough on China in the beginning, and now he's seeking, I think, the help of China for the North Korean thing.
I feel like he's been zigzagging and flip-flopping a lot.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I think it's a pattern. I've seen that before.
He's a businessman. He's not a politician.
If you talk about one thing and it switches from another, it could be concerning because you never know what he's going to do. It could be dangerous.
It's often been said that the Donald is unpredictable. But now it looks like he might be so unpredictable that those who voted for him might be left asking, who is that guy? Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Arvin Vohra, the vice chair of the U.S. Libertarian Party, thinks Trump has bowed down to the military complex, something previous presidents have warned about.
He pretended during the election to be very hardcore and anti-establishment, but once he's in power, he's basically doing exactly what the military-industrial complex wants. During his campaign, he argued constantly that the United States should not be involved, for example, in Syria. He argued constantly that the United States should pull out of NATO. These are both very popular views among the American people. Now he's saying that we do need to attack Syria, that we do need to take on an adversarial role with Russia. He's saying that we do need to be a part of NATO. So I think that the big difference is now that he's the one that the military-industrial complex is turning to, he's the one who's basically currying favor with them.
Now, the new CIA director, Mike Pompeo, has denounced WikiLeaks head Julian Assange and his associates as demons, as the organization keeps releasing classified intelligence service documents. RT's Daniel Hawkins has more on the story.
We know the danger that Assange and his not-so-merry band of brothers pose to democracies around the world. Ignorance or misplaced idealism is no longer an acceptable excuse for lionizing these demons.
This was Mike Pompeo's very first public appearance as the new head of the CIA, and he spent a lot of time bashing Assange and WikiLeaks, certainly using some very strong words, stating that Assange and WikiLeaks cared nothing about the lives and the damage, the danger they do to national security, knowing nothing of America and their ideals, and wanting nothing but the destruction of Western values. His summary: also quite strong, that Assange and WikiLeaks were as much a danger as, if not more than, enemy spy organizations, branding them a hostile non-state intelligence service. Assange came back this morning stating that it's ironic the CIA would call him this, citing that the CIA themselves have been responsible over the decades for supporting, funding, aiding, and abetting a whole range of terror organizations and dictatorial regimes around the world, branding them a non-state intelligence service. Also, the latest news coming in about an hour or so ago, WikiLeaks has this morning themselves released Hive. That is the fifth installment in a series of leaks exposing CIA hacking tools known as Vault 7, the latest batch consisting of 6 documents. So the CIA hitting him with words, WikiLeaks counterattacking with actions there. Now, as may have been quite predictable, of course, Mike Pompeo also mentioned RT.
It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is: a non-state hostile intelligence service often abetted by state actors like Russia. Russia's primary propaganda outlet, RT, has actively collaborated with WikiLeaks.
Now, at first, all that seems like quite grim reading. After all, who would want to collaborate with such a sinister, hostile organization, according to Mike Pompeo, as WikiLeaks? But then you look at all the other internationally well-respected and renowned media organizations that WikiLeaks has previously worked with. In the United States, you have the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. Across the channel, you have the Guardian and the Telegraph in the UK, as well as France's Le Monde. So it's very clear that RT is very much not the only one.
Pompeo has previously relied on WikiLeaks revelations to back up his own point. Clark Stockley, a WikiLeaks supporter I spoke to, believes that he is now being a hypocrite.
I think he changed his mind as soon as he was appointed CIA director, and WikiLeaks published the Vault 7 documents. I find his comments very laughable because they're both hypocritical. They lack any kind of truth. For example, he said that Assange had directed Chelsea Manning. I sat through a trial which clearly proved that that was not to be a fact. It seems like the administration doesn't have their story straight. It's absolutely laughable that Pompeo was tweeting out WikiLeaks' DNC leaks last year, and now he has completely changed his tune. And I think that these fair-weather fans of WikiLeaks really need to look at themselves and what they really stand for. Do they stand for truth, or do they like things when it works in their favor?
Up next, the story of how a president of 20th Century Fox gave up his own life to run a charity for Cambodian children.